Hi. Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You might have to flip the switch on your mics because Court is here today. Just make sure the red light comes on. Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Caucus. Mrs. Passio.
Here,
Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein.
He is absent.
Mr. Farrell.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly.
here,
Mr. Spiro.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Basor. Here. Ms. Straley. So Dan doesn't give me my reprimand. Straley.
Yeah, it only took us, wait, how long have you been here, 6 months?
2 years.
2 years.
I never have to call him by our last name.
It's only been 2 years.
Mr. Wozon?
Present.
All right, public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act is given by the clerk in the following manner. 1, to post on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 6, 2021. And 2, email to the retrospective third post on January 6, 2021. Really, January 6th we did all this?
Have to.
That's a day.
So it's the annual meeting notice, you do it after your reorg.
No, I'm saying January 6th, I just,
Oh,
That's right, it was that day, yeah.
Okay, so we have some business this evening. You notice a caucus meeting. We will get to committee reports, and anybody can report on anything they want to report. But we do have some business we do have to take care of this
Hey,
evening.
Dave, can I clarify something
Yeah.
quickly? Because I'm a little confused. Are we supposed to wear these or only limited to a certain amount of occupancy? We can't ignore it.
do we answer that?
Yeah.
Personal choice.
It still is?
It is, but we could mandate if we want to.
Could. I still
Yeah,
think,
ignore it.
at this
Figure
point,
it out.
at this point, I still think keep it optional. You and I will discuss as things develop.
All
You know,
right.
we're asking people who come into the
The
building
office,
to wear,
they're wearing it.
we're asking, anybody who comes into the office, we're asking, but our employees have not, inside the office, in their own areas, they have not worn it.
I think we're still spread out enough that I think.
I kind of think us as employees sort of hopefully
If
spread
this
out.
room was
I mean,
packed, different story, right? That's
I would say it'd be
We're
different,
all vaccinated in the office.
and we still are pretty cautious.
We are.
Yeah.
And anyone that
Well,
comes into the
I bet
counter,
there's a few people that aren't vaccinated. We don't have to go through that right now.
No.
But it is still choice.
We'll find them out later.
We should just be clear so that we understand. It's a little more clear, thank you.
Thank you.
well, we're still doing the separation though.
Yeah, we have people down here, like, remember, we opened it
Because the
up.
news just came out a couple hours ago.
For what?
The
The
CDC.
CDC
CDC.
said that
You didn't hear it?
you should be wearing masks in certain
Indoors.
situations.
You should.
indoors. But
If the governor comes out with it,
if the governor says we should, I think we should.
Governor is not gonna say a word about mandates. They're not coming back. He's up for election, let's be honest.
Yes.
Okay, CDC's are recommendations.
Correct.
States mandate.
Follow your recommendation. You're the law. Thank you.
So, yep, I think, let's keep it optional
Okay.
right now. And as
if anybody
things
feels
develop-
comfortable, I like
But
seeing that.
you know that Biden is going to mandate vaccines for all federal employees.
He is.
Yeah. So
All right, let's work.
what does that mean
Let's get
now?
back to work. All right, I still think, once again, if anybody feels, any kind of uncomfortableness, just let us know, we'll make arrangements.
I feel very safe with my mask, and if you had to just go through what I went through, my granddaughter, I had to wait 30 hours to see if she had COVID, and it was the first time out with 3 little kids at a party, and she got sick and another child got sick. I just got word she does not have COVID. So
Thank God.
I'm very happy, but
Yeah,
the
I know.
stress. So I
I know,
wear
but
my
unfortunately,
mask.
it's not over. It sucks.
I still have my mask in my,
Good.
And the other thing that came out today is that we may be a few mutations away. The head of the CDC said this, from the vaccines being completely bypassed, and then we're back to square
Get
one.
enough.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Start over again, John. That's
It's
just
okay.
another year. No, so that's another
It is
discussion.
fine.
And we will be mutating.
all right, we have public hearing first. Let's get ordinance 2107. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Runnemede, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, prohibiting the operation of any class cannabis business within its geographic boundaries. Let's make sure, once again, that this is, we're telling everybody this is a pause, correct? I think we all feel that we would like to be proactive to getting it, but we want to wait for better guidance from the state, better understanding before we allow it. Does that
And
make
even with
sense?
the new current interest, we still feel that way?
Well, the state still has not given us clarity.
And you also want to see, you know, sometimes on this kind of thing, you don't want to be the first person through the gate. I think that's an important thing. And it's not we're saying, no, it's just we.
But we have people
It's not
interested.
like this.
That's fine.
But we can do it the right way, gauging the interest when the time comes.
Okay, so this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak about this ordinance, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, the public portion is closed. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
Is there a
And I'll
second?
second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
All right, the ordinance is adopted. We're required to send this ordinance to the
I was
state.
just going to ask the same question.
Yes.
What do I do with it?
I'll talk to you tomorrow about it.
Okay. All right. Resolution 2106 is a resolution regarding employment. Sorry.
That's the wrong name in there. This is Robert Alexander's retirement.
Oh, in case that anyone was
I
not,
gave you a copy of his letter.
I was not aware, Patrolman Alexander has put 29 years.
It'll be 29 years, December 31st, full. Yeah.
So Mr. Alexander has basically put his 29 years in with the borough, and he is,
21 with the borough.
okay, the total in the pension
Yeah,
system.
he's over. well,
So
over
he's
20.
eligible to retire, so he is giving us his formal notice.
Congratulations.
And so why do you have Mr. Work on here? What is this, a typo?
I used a form. I will change it. It's.
So whereas Mr. Alexander's been employed and whereas he's submitted a letter, and it's not dated January, it will take effect January 1st, so he's obviously using paid time off, and he has accrued and things like that until the end of the year. The chief is making arrangements to handle day-to-day activities, will not be replacing him until his term is up. Would someone like to make a motion
I'll make a motion
to approve?
to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Not here.
Sorry, he's absent. Mrs. Passio.
Here. Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
5 ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 2107 is a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement by and between the Borough of Runnemede and the Borough of Magnolia for certified public works manager services. So basically, this is something that we started last year. This will end us till December 31st, so that it'll run with the normal fiscal year. It's a slight adjustment for what Mr. Wozum is doing over there. If everyone recalls, he basically reduced some hours here at the borough, and he's picking up the hours in Magnolia, so it saves us a little money. He does well and helps our neighbor, which helps us, and I don't believe there's any negatives to it. I think Mr. Wozum's staff is able to handle the 5 hours, is that what it is? He leaves an hour early?
It's up and down, because sometimes in the morning I'm over there, back and forth.
So it's about an hour a day. Is that what it is?
Hour to 2 hours a day.
Hour to 2 hours.
And I can tell you that Magnolia is extremely pleased, as their solicitor as well, with all the assistance that Harry has provided. They enthusiastically supported this resolution at their meeting last week. It's a real win-win.
Okay. Win-win-win. 3 to us.
You're very welcome. I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Neri, second by Ms. Passio. Was there some discussion? Bob, did you ask a
No.
question? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. If anybody has anything to say, I don't think you can move too quick, so just stop it.
Oh, we won't.
Yeah, stop
We won't. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Resolution 21-108 is a resolution appointing ROK Industries, DBA New Jersey Tax Lien Investor.com for net-based electronic processing of bid information for the sale of tax liens.
Is this a company that we use every
We
year?
use them every year. They're on the state contract, right?
No, it's just, that's it. There's no.
Oh, there's nobody else. There's one company. So I think we've been using it every year, and I think it's been very successful, right?
And it's under the there are other companies, but it's under the threshold, so we really don't have to go out and bid it out.
Okay, it's considered professional service?
I don't know, is it considered professional in some ways? I guess so.
No problem.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passive, second by Ms. Kelly. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution 21-109 is a resolution authorizing the collection of fees and costs from delinquent tax payers prior to tax sale. When is the tax sale?
October 1?
19.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion by Ms. Passive.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrow. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 21-110, resolution authorizing the tax collector to hold a tax sale for prior year delinquent municipal taxes. Charges. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Passios.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein? I'm sorry, Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
So then we want to make sure, Harry, is any delinquent charges like cutting grass, we get it all before the tax sale, correct, Joyce?
Well, as much as we can up to that.
It's what's due.
By law, the list has to be created 50 days prior to the sale. So anything after the end of August, I can't put on.
So if you've got a list of things, grass cutting, do the rest, because that's the thing, is the grass cutting, correct? All right, we have one more resolution that had to be walked on. It's your handout. It's resolution 21-111. This is for the body cameras. We did do one resolution, but we need a second resolution clarifying, not just for the grant specifically, correct?
Yes, to accept the award.
I mean, we already did something, but we had to do this accepting. So this resolution 21-111 is a resolution approving participation with the state of New Jersey in body work camera fiscal year 21 program administered by the Department of Public Safety. This is awarding the borough $61,140. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ranieri. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
And just before we get to all the new business, I just want to get it out of the way. Payment of bills. Would someone like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
Motion by Ms. Passio, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
And Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
All right, the bills are paid. This way I don't forget. All right, so we'll just do some new discussion to the topics quickly, and then we'll go around with committees. So public hearing on ordinances 2108, 09, 10, and 11. What are they?
08 is the sale, the property behind the Acme Sherrington, yeah.
Okay?
09.
Wait a minute, is that the one that they did all the deeds on?
Deeds are done. Now we're just doing some of the process to transfer to the school district.
Okay.
Correct?
That's for $1, right?
$1.
Right, Joyce?
$2?
I don't know, it
One.
doesn't, I don't know what it says.
No, that's the nominal amount.
And this is the one that we've been dealing with for a couple years, right?
A couple decades.
Yeah, it's been a couple years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, what's 09?
09 is the impervious coverage language.
So just to be clear, what 09 is we ran into a situation where our ordinance does not specifically say what we add up for impervious coverage. So right now it just says a building and the outbuildings. It doesn't count the driveway, it doesn't count the sidewalk, it doesn't count decks or patios or anything that water would hit and run off. So right now, if someone were to pave their entire backyard, we would have no recourse. There might be legal recourse, for their water going onto their neighbor's property. But we had passed an ordinance several years ago about only a percentage of their property can be covered. This now makes it clear to say sidewalks, patios, anything that the water cannot penetrate, basically.
Who's working on this?
It was just a definition that had to be done. Keith brought it up.
Is it done now?
No. We have to do the public hearing
For next
in August.
meeting.
Next meeting.
August meeting.
So these are all the public hearings. So we've already did first reading for it, we had this definition, and now we just have to have the public hearing. But because she didn't say what it was, I want to make sure everybody remembers.
Okay.
What was 10?
10
Stop
is
sign?
needles, knives, and scalpels.
So that one allows for the tattoo and piercing in our commercial district.
Yes.
That one was putting aside, saying yes. And number 11, is that the stop sign?
2111 is the creation of the titles within the fire department.
Oh, we still don't have the stop sign, okay. So fire company titles, we needed that because of the differential from, remember, the EMTs and stuff like that, where we brought in Mr. Ferret to do the deputy.
He's deputy,
Yeah,
right.
so we actually have to add another one, but we keep forgetting, guys. There's a stop sign that the police department has recommended, and the engineer concurred last month. But I need some kind of legal description or something that we can pass in an ordinance to add to the existing ordinance for stop signs. Did you provide that?
I didn't.
You did?
I did not.
We need something that we can put on the books so before you put the stop sign. I don't care if you put the stop sign up early.
What streets?
It was,
Reed Chisler and, yeah, Phillips. Resident, Reed said it was coming off, he said, coming off Clemenswood. And
Yeah.
there's already, on Phillips, now we want to do it this way. So it's like.
so everybody stops at the four-way. So it's basically a four-way stop at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a recommendation from the police department and backed up by the engineer. So if you guys can remember that for either first reading for next week, I'd love to throw it on there and get it done. And Harry, feel free to get some U-posts. Stop signs up. You got a few more U-posts you can put up. Bamboo, I just wanted to bring this up because it was brought to my attention. Years ago, we talked about bamboo. Now, we don't have to make any decision tonight. Ms. Pasco and I talked briefly about this. Do you guys
Very invasive.
So
So is every weed that's in our town.
So the only question is, there was and Dan, I'm going to send you an email. The state of New Jersey may have passed something about bamboo. Do you remember that?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell?
That's why I brought my iPad, so. just-
But other municipalities, some municipalities, when they've had different issues, like, we had an issue a few years ago, it kind of went away. Does everybody
I
remember that?
remember, yeah, it was going into the neighbor's yards.
And we really don't do anything about that. And the only reason I even bring it up is because, we always have to at least try to make both parties sort of happy.
There's a bill pending.
Oh, it's
Oh, a bill pending.
okay.
And what does the bill say?
Let's see. This is about sales. No, it's not that. I'll send me the email. We'll do that.
They can
I'm
flip
not.
under the
I
fence,
don't know,
under the neighbor's yards. things like that, right?
3,500, is
Yeah, I
that the
have
bill?
In my
That's what I
ward.
say.
I didn't do it.
No, I have bamboo in my yard.
See, this thing was introduced back in 2014, the one that I see. That's why I wasn't sure if it was already adopted.
It's hard to get rid of.
So here's the question. The question is that should we, the ordinance that I saw that I thought was pretty reasonable was, people are allowed to have it in their property, but they must maintain it on their property.
Right.
And that was pretty much it.
Overgrowth.
Over.
Yeah.
So, and the way you do that is you either, maintain a barrier between properties, or you may have to literally dig something to keep it. I think that's sort of reasonable. It's not saying no to anybody.
Should
Well,
we,
but
should
you know what, when,
should Green Team educate the
should,
community?
so
If it's something you want to look into,
So
we're
if
not making any
somebody's
decision.
So if somebody's bamboo was coming into my yard,
Yes.
then I would do something in my yard so it would become invasive, just like next door, and everybody, I'm sure, has those Virginia vines that are growing all over, that if you stand still for 5 minutes, they'll wrap around your leg.
So if a dog,
So-
goes to the bathroom in your yard,
Yeah,
it's
but
your
pick it up.
it's your responsibility to put a fence up.
I'm looking at the.
No.
But that's what you just said, though. You
No,
have to
I'm
do it to
saying-
stop it from coming in. See,
Yeah.
you just said, I have to stop it from coming in.
Yeah.
If the dog walks onto your property and goes to the bathroom, you are saying that person should put a fence up to keep the dog from going on your property. I don't think that's quite fair.
I think that's totally different.
How is that different?
It's different, and under the circumstances of who is
Yes.
recommending it.
I'm not,
Sales.
it's coming up a couple
Patty, I
times.
don't understand, you're saying if your bamboo comes in my yard, it's my responsibility to get rid of it?
Well, first of all, it grows under,
Yeah,
okay?
it
In
grows
my- in
very
my-
down, very
in
basic.
in my yard, it gets cut, so it doesn't continue.
No, I'm not
to
saying
grow.
your
Did you go in his yard and see it grow?
Nobody knows what you and I know.
I know, but
Talk in abstract. Talk not as yourself. Talk as a
so,
resident.
so did you go in the
No,
residential
no,
area of the city?
no, no, stop. I didn't do
You
anything.
know what, I'm gonna stop right here
No.
because there's
the
a big
point-
issue here.
The point is, what is your point?
My point is, I don't have any problem against anybody having bamboo, but if it comes in my yard, it's not my responsibility. It's the person that has the bamboo, that's
So
all.
think about what I'm saying.
So what would you say to your neighbors to stop it from going in his yard, if it's going in
You
your
gotta do
yard?
something about the bamboo.
Or I cut it myself.
Yeah, but you,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with
Yeah.
that, and I think she's
Same
right.
thing, same thing as trees.
It's the same thing, if a tree comes over my property, I cut it down.
It's-
So why is it not the same as trees? If a tree hangs over someone's property, we tell them that they have the right to cut it, and we don't force the neighbor to do it. How it is,
I think the distinction would be over, to a resident, would be the over versus the under.
yes, exactly. You gotta dig down, and now you're tearing up all your ground to get rid of somebody else's problem.
No, you don't.
but it's the same mentality, that plane runs
I'm
from.
telling you why it's a bigger, I'm not talking about legally, legally the tree is pretty much the same, because if it comes over on your property, you have the right to,
To kill it, cut it.
right, to cut it, lop it off. But the issue is taking that matter into your own hands through no fault of your own is more invasive because it's underneath. Because if it's a 55, if it's a tall tree, I have my own, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't bother me at all. So I think there's more of an issue with the bamboo.
But if it's
than
a
there's-
tall tree, we don't force the property owner whose tree's hanging over
That's correct.
to trim the branches.
That's my point.
So why would we do it with the stuff underground?
Because you're talking, it always gets,
More damage.
it always gets tricky when you're talking about one thing that originates on one person's property because of person A, and then crosses over to person B, and then kind of leaving person B holding it back. That is.
Well, Harry, we've
But where-
experienced this.
But where do you
with the
stop
weed-
with
the weeds.
bamboo versus the vines?
Okay, we just had to deal with it. We had vines on the bike path. Now, what we did is we were extreme. We went in and took a backhoe and ripped everything out.
We have an extreme there.
We had an extreme mayor. We just ripped everything out. Solomon, I cut the baby in half. I think the baby would be cut in half. But what do you think? I mean, this is a good point, though. Where do we draw the line? Once the raw vine goes on that person's fence, her argument was, it's your vine going on my fence. You have to stop it from
I
going
mean,
on my fence.
we control it in our yard as much as we can.
Well,
That's not personalized.
Okay, so.
Let's say, we're talking about individuals. So like that fence thing,
technically on the fences though, by the ordinance, you're not exactly on the property line. You're offset by inches on the property line.
but once the vine goes on her property,
It already crossed, it grew into their property. They can
so who's
cut it off.
responsible for killing it? We cut it all back.
And that's the thing that we shouldn't get into. Same way with the trees, we went through it with all the storms and everything else.
Yeah.
I have it in several locations throughout the whole county, people calling up, it's borough property, it's coming right up. We don't touch it, you wanna cut it, you wanna do something, you do it. I mean, I have it all along, Payne Avenue.
Pain is a
You're
lot.
talking neighbor to neighbor, not borough to neighbor.
But in this particular case, we had a very similar scenario. We had a few ago, we had a resident on the bike path who complained. Now, the bike path, I wouldn't call as wild as Payne Avenue. Payne Avenue backs up to a wooded area. This is the bike path, which there
And it's
is,
very cultured. It really
it
is.
is much more cultured than
Yes.
what Harry, I agree with you 100%. The woods, we can't go back to the woods and cut trees down.
I have it along the halfway over 3 acres.
What about Green
I
Acres?
thought it
It's
passed.
halfway to what's up.
No, it's just in the assembly right now. I don't know if there's a Senate version.
Is there, it's just in the assembly?
It's on the
I don't know, it's fine here, but I don't know, extend me.
Or you have to put up our barriers.
It's your fences.
So you need to maintain that, put up a barrier. I'm probably gonna go 3 feet down.
I don't know.
Here's what
Well, that's what they're gonna
And
pass.
it was planted.
Well, it's only introduced.
So it was planted.
Let's take a step back. I understand everybody's passion and appreciate that for this issue. Let's see what's what. I'm giving you a chance to actually take a look at it. We'll chat, figure it out, we'll do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, how do we balance, is all I'm saying. I agree the balance, where do you draw the line? But it does get tricky. I mean, I'm the neighbor who cuts my neighbor's yards to help them out. I'm not the neighbor who calls and complains when another neighbor has a problem. But Do you know how many phone calls I get, neighbors hating neighbors? You know?
Come to court one day and you see how much his neighbor gets.
Yes, it's neighbor against neighbor, and it's awful. Okay, so property maintenance liens, there are some, that's why I brought it up, because we're gonna be doing the tax sale. I believe you had some on the list. I know you still got somewhere to cut. If you got that 50-day deadline, let's just try to get it done before the 50 days.
So tell me what happens when this lien thing, they have to pay it?
So Harry fills out the paperwork that shows exactly what Public Works did. It gets submitted to Joyce. Joyce puts a formal lien together and attaches it to the property.
It never sends it to the people.
Never sent it. Now, remember, I got yelled at last week when we talked about this. During the tax sale process, they were notified at that point. Then they have to pay before it goes to tax sale.
Right now, how many days do you have to pay?
Does anybody know that?
Well, they have like 4 weeks to pay.
Wow, sorry.
But to clarify, they are sending notice from code enforcement.
Correct.
Before Harry sends anyone out there.
Yeah.
But not the amount. Only that we're gonna come out and cut your grass if you cut it. We do not tell them the amount until you're done.
We did change it prior to COVID. It is on the code enforcement forms now that go out there, that this is your notice, and from this point on, Public Works will come. We had a controversy before about notice, so it got put on to the forms from code enforcement that you do not take action, Public Works will come, we will be lien. So there is notification on that form.
They're told they're gonna be leaving, we just don't tell them.
We just don't tell
And
them
if
how
they don't
much.
cut it again, you don't have to call them again, it's repetitive, right? Same lien, the same original motion or violation, just continues to keep building, right? Yeah, okay. And we don't have to send paperwork, we just keep going and cutting and building.
And this is what Buck does. Buck does this, right?
And hands over to you now. How many houses are you doing right now? You're not doing many.
No, I think we're down to 9.
I was gonna say less than that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We're doing very well. A lot of
Better than
people can over
68.
stuff
Yeah,
like that.
9.
6 years ago.
And I'm surprised it's not.
Yeah, remember when we had 100?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so we'll get that done. Civil service ordinance for police officers, just so everyone knows, the state did pass a law that allows us to basically use, I like to use the word apprenticeship program, where we bring in a police officer as almost an apprentice. They work in the police department. If we pass these certain rules and regulations and we follow certain procedures, we then have the ability to hire that person, even though they may not be on our civil service list.
So
Is that
there,
accurate?
yes, with one caveat. Certain rules and regulations. Nobody knows what those are.
Oh.
And you would think that, although we're gonna do what we
I thought it was
know.
very clear, Billy.
So,
No, the
here's what
title
it
is
says.
clear.
Here's what it says.
They didn't give us
You
the
have to
language.
pass a nepotism and conflict of interest policy, period. The law also gave civil service until August 4th, the effective date of the law. They had a good 6-month period to come up with rules and regulations pursuant to this law. Guess what happened there?
Extension.
No,
Anybody?
they haven't done anything as of yet. And I spoke with Lou Bordy, who is the chief of Voorhees and also the president of the New Jersey State Police Chiefs Association, as did your chief, Chief Sam Polsky, today. And the word he is getting is that civil service will not be passing rules prior to the August 4th deadline. So my suggestion is going to be, is that we kind of, because it's a nepotism and conflict of interest policy, right?
Which we don't have one.
We have nepotism. We have nepotism, but not conflict.
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest is typically with contracts.
Right, and it's wide, or an ethics thing. I'll give you an example, like for the regional school district, because I represent them, I have a conflict of interest, I can't negotiate both sides of the deal. That sort of thing. But it's, you can see this, and Chief and I were speaking about this afternoon. It would be classic civil service to do nothing, wait for them to come in and say, no, that's not good enough, we're gonna send it right back. I told the mayor today, if you ever become governor, or if anybody sitting here ever becomes the governor, and you demolish and abolish the Civil Service Commission, I will be the most grateful person on earth. They haven't done one thing ever that's helpful. They sit on their hands and tell us what we can't do and just make it difficult. Is that a fair summation?
Yes.
So they should have given us.
They should have absolutely said, here's all they had to do. Here is a sample policy that would be acceptable to us. Adopt this and we're done, right? But now we're left guessing with these broad rules. And listen, we'll pass what we have to pass next week. I'll get us something that works. And we'll kind of, what I want to do is sort of similar to the cannabis ordinance. let's kind of figure out what everybody else is doing and kind of go with it. Because if enough people are doing that, what are they going to say? No to all of us? But we finally get, after years, and how much has this hamstrung you and your department over the years?
I've been following this very, very closely. Every minute, every day, I think about this because I've been the guy handling civil service since I was a sergeant. And this really, really, really gives you another tool in the toolbox as civil service in the hiring process. It really does, because, I mean, Joyce will tell you, I called for the list. 2 people responded out of 7. One doesn't live in town no more, so that kind of eliminates him, and the other one, we're hiring. That's it. No names, nobody responded.
And look, we'll pass what we need to pass, we'll figure it out. I just wish for once it could be easier and just say, here's what you need to pass it, and we would do it. So we'll come up with.
All right, so we'll get something from
So you're gonna have
one of the other towns.
Yeah, I'll have something next week. So here's what I'm suggesting. Worst comes to worst, we re-adopt our nepotism ordinance as is.
Is that sufficient, what we have? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, remember, that's the frustrating part about this whole thing. I guess, yeah, you know, it seems fine, but it could be one person with a stick up their rear, civil service, telling us, oh no. And we'll figure it out. We'll pass it by next week. We'll do what we need to do to let you do what you need to do.
Do you have a sample conflict of interest
No.
policy? You know what that
Nobody
is?
knows that. Nobody knows
I
what
talked
that
to a
means.
lot of people.
I don't know.
I talked to a lot of people.
So that's why they gave the law passed on February 4th.
Yeah, correct.
February 4th.
6
So
months.
you think in that 6-month time, here's what we want as a sample
Well, they would have to
conflict.
be in the office. The problem is nobody's working from the office. They're all at home.
I don't think civil service is going to tell you.
Just make
She's not official.
They got access to everything they need.
It's just not having conflict of
Yeah,
interest.
they're
overly
just back in the office
the worst.
now.
We need you.
There is not one town that is not civil service that says, I wish we were civil service, not one.
We did, 2008.
If I invent a time machine, I'm gonna travel back in time. There's many historic events.
People this town voted for it.
I would tell you guys, don't go to civil service.
I worked for that too. I did, I went around.
Did you really? I went right against it.
I went around for it.
I see that.
Yeah, it's Elmer's fault.
But no, it's good in theory, right? But it's all the roadblocks that get thrown up as a result.
You know
that they get
why.
done.
Okay, so we'll keep waiting for that, and like I said, if Voorhees is doing it, Camden's doing it, all these other bigger municipalities will follow with
There
that.
were ones that really, like us, are really on it.
Yeah.
I've been following it real hard because I'm the guy that handles it.
You need it. You
It's-
need
It's
it.
humongous to the future of the police department.
That's great.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Okay. Municipal alliance agreement, I'm not sure what this one is, 21?
I just got this. And this is our regular agreement for.
How much is it for?
$4,334.
It's nothing.
Did you
Okay, so Shelley, our municipal alliance is only $4,000. Our municipal alliance, what's it, coordinator? is that correct?
Yes.
She just gave us her resignation, open-ended though. So we're gonna have to find somebody
She won't leave
to
until.
be our municipal alliance coordinator.
Till we find someone.
The most advantage with her, she's tied with the school, the high school, and all the programs we were doing were tied with the high school. So if anybody knows, Bill, if anybody, Rachel, there's someone who's tied to the high school who could help us.
Talk to Rochelle, we'll talk to.
Rochelle, she's tied to the high school. Anybody who has some,
Well, we can talk to see, start getting the word out there.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying hire Rochelle, I'm saying somebody who can talk to people at the high school. Because Nancy was already there and she was able to coordinate these programs. Right? She did a very good job.
Yeah, she did a great job.
I love
Can
her.
we send a letter? Can we send a letter to
To who?
the school board, maybe?
Well,
I think it's more about just talking. We just gotta find somebody who can represent us.
put
You
your
know,
ears.
talk to Missy, see if there's anybody, because Nancy was Missy's secretary for years.
Yeah, I know some people.
Anybody?
Yeah.
All right, so because what Nancy said was she won't give us her formal
Yeah, she-
resignation letter until we find somebody to
Yeah.
replace.
All she did was tell me that she would like to.
Yeah, today, I said, today she sent me an email.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I told her I missed her, yada, yada, and she said, I won't leave until you
Find some
replacement.
Okay.
Okay, so the big thing we got on here this evening is the rededication of Beaver Branch Park. So hopefully it's all in agreement. I think we've talked about this for some time.
Yeah, but we need a date.
So the date we have, September 18th, is the function. I will not be here on that day. I am going to a super spreader event in Texas.
I'll take you.
Yay!
Quarantine yourself.
Say hi to Governor Adams.
Are you gonna pick up another part of it?
You can't help yourself, can you?
I can't.
So, between, I have faith in everyone else that because
We'll take.
there's a memorial service and represent council, we'll make sure we.
Don't worry about it, right?
The only thing we gotta do is, I believe at the council meeting, the September council meeting, how do we formally, officially change the name of the park? Is it an ordinance?
So I have a question, what is it right now? Is it, I would say probably the ordinance.
Beaver Branch
Beaver
Park.
Ranch Park. Now, I can't, Beaver Ranch Park, I can't find an ordinance that
Names.
dedicated it. But do we need an ordinance? I'm assuming you need something official.
What year was it dedicated?
76.
Well, I can look into 76 ordinances, I have them
What
all,
was the name before that?
from 1927.
Had no names. They didn't know that they bought it from a family. Do you remember how it got? There was a
No,
family that owned
no.
the property and it was purchased and
The reason why we call it Green Acres.
because
Green Acres.
someone in Public Works put a sign up that says Green Acres Park.
Nick?
Something else that you should take
Came
into
from-
consideration was anything paid for with Green Acres funding.
It was.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was.
So all we have to do is put a 12 by 18 sign, 30 feet behind the new sign that says Dave Manella.
Nick,
And
we're
look at
gonna
other
have
towns, it's just a funding, it's no different than the park, because that was another question I had for
We're
everybody.
gonna have this.
Was the signs that are up there right
Yeah.
now say bump, I think the bump needs to be repainted. It says the park is open dusk till dawn.
Right.
Is that still official? Bill, is this park still officially open dusk till dawn? Did we, I thought we changed that.
No,
No, we don't.
no, we never
We
changed.
stopped closing the gate. Remember when we stopped closing the gate?
Nothing
Yeah,
official.
because I think there's
Because
hours
it
up
was-
there. Yes. We changed it 2 years ago when we started renting the generators for soccer.
Yes, guys. We allowed soccer to go down there and we put lights up.
Oh, we made it later.
We might have made it later.
We did make it later. I thought 9
So
o'clock.
Joyce, we may have an ordinance
I thought
already.
like 9 o'clock.
What do you think, Dan? Just stick it in an ordinance? Then just-
Yeah.
Or stick it in our park?
Yeah, stick with park ordinance.
Were we sticking in the park ordinance?
In the park ordinance where we have the time that it's open and closed.
Right.
I believe it was
Shall be named,
changed.
that's what it
It
does.
shall be named.
Yeah.
Let's agree to what we want to call it. David,
David Vanilla Park.
I don't know his middle initial. We'll get his middle, I know his middle initial. David Vanilla Memorial Park.
Basic
Yes.
first grade.
Green Acres underneath.
No, we don't. Green Acres is like, it's like when you got the money from TD Bank.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like a TD Bank sign going up there, you know? Correct?
Nick, is 5 weeks enough time to have a sign made?
Yeah.
Mark, is that correct? When we get money from DOT, we put a sign up, and then we take it down after the funding, after the project's done, correct?
Not DOT,
CDBG, we're required to put a
Green
sign.
Acres, you just need to have, like you said, it's 12 by 18.
We're still
Stuck in the back, stuck somewhere,
Yeah.
so they come in for an inspection, they see their name.
So here's my philosophy on that comment.
Which one?
The one you just made.
Had a few.
You just made a comment. You said people are still gonna call it Green Acres?
Yes.
And here's my comment to that. Has anyone on council, you were on council, some of you, when we got rid of the walking paths for the kids to go from Lindsay or Knight all the way to the high school? Do you remember that? There used to be a walkway.
Yes.
Do you know nobody remembers there was a walkway? After 2 years, I got yelled at for about 2 years.
Oh,
I used to go all the time.
Yeah, but the kids don't remember.
I used that walkway all the time.
The kids don't remember
Oh, no, why would they?
because it's gone. It's
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
their.
but the parents remember.
Yeah, but eventually, it's
And I
very morbid
used
what I'm
to-
about to say, but eventually,
They do.
Yes, they do.
They go somewhere?
forget it. Like Eleanor didn't remember that was a farm.
I
It was
used-
purchased.
Yeah.
You remember
yeah, way
that?
back.
Oh, no, that part I don't remember, because I only came into town in '66.
Nick, will we have a sign to unveil or anything?
So we've been talking a little bit about location. I think we will. Before I leave for that day, I'll make sure between Harry, we'll redo somewhere in the front, we'll come up with a drawing, we'll come up with something, and we'll put a sign where he's, somewhere where I think it needs to be closer to the entrance. Where the sign's located now, it gets removed. We come closer to the entrance, we get rid of a lot of those other nonsense signs. So the first thing you see is the naming of the park. Then as you pull in, you have the no alcohol, no, whatever the hours are. Those
fun
ones.
signs.
First skin on the end.
The good, the fun signs.
Yeah, the no fun signs. Where you can't.
But you like the memorial?
I like the memorial, so what time do you think that should be? Because Mary Lou has permission from Father Joe to have the luncheon and the reception at Maria Goretti Hall.
At what time?
And that's at 1 o'clock.
So why don't you do 12? I won't be here, but let's plan this evening an hour before is good.
Yeah, I think so, 12. And then we can all go over to Maria Goretti Hall for the reception.
Good enough.
Now, what I'd like to do though is have Mary Lou here at the September council meeting.
Yes, when
And
we
her
do.
children, and we'll formally pass the ordinance and formally do it, and I'll have a design of the signs, everyone knows what
That'd
the
be
sign
great.
looks like, everybody think that's okay?
Yes,
That'd be awesome.
absolutely.
And then, so we really don't have to do anything at the park, but the memorial, I think is,
Read a couple of things.
yeah, just say something, you
Just
know?
read about him. I have
You
it
have it all.
already, I have it all.
Yeah, okay, so everyone agrees on all that, and we'll find the
Bottle of
ordinance.
champagne to hit the sign, you know. We have that.
So here's my dilemma. To do an ordinance, I need 30 days.
Yeah.
So,
So here's the deal, no one's gonna arrest you.
for putting a sign in
Yeah.
before it's done, fine, thank you. Keep me out of the orange jumpsuit.
Hey, you can look the other way on that one? Alright.
Like the stop sign, you can put the stop sign, just don't pull anybody over. Okay, and I
Okay, so
think that's,
I will talk with Mary Lou, make sure that she and the family are here, and then we'll have the dedication at 12, and go over to Maria Goretti Hall at 1, and everybody is invited. She
That's
wants
amazing.
everybody to come.
fantastic. All right, so we did all our business, now we'll go around the room. Patty, what do you got?
Geez, what do I have? Oh, let me think.
Yard sale?
Patty, do you know when the bus for the seniors is gonna get back on track?
Harry?
Monday.
Oh, Val, do you hear that? Monday?
Monday.
Monday.
Wow,
All right.
Phil,
Monday.
can you lock that door so Dan can't get back?
So that's August 2nd?
He just said, lock that door.
That's fantastic. So
Patty, are you
then,
gonna tell everybody?
Valerie,
That how you're gonna let everybody know?
Yes. Okay, so that'll start on Monday. The schedule is where? Will be on the.
It'll be reposted tomorrow, the time and the schedule, because the schedule will start at 9 o'clock instead of previously 8 o'clock.
9?
Yeah, so it'll all be posted, all the information will be posted on Facebook and the website.
Okay, so you have that, and I will call, Val, I will call Lee, and I will tell her so she can get.
And the Runson House
The
people
phone's
too.
going, yeah, Val can take care of
You want me to call Bobby White over at the Runson House?
it. No, they do a phone call, they call everybody, so. That should be, and Val does that, she'll call over at the Runson House to tell everybody when it'll start.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
9 o'clock on Monday morning.
And it'll be on our Facebook page and website, so.
Well, old people don't go on the
Well,
website.
yeah.
How are they gonna know what the schedule is?
Yeah, they do, but Val, you do go on, so you can get the times and all of that.
People
So-
They call.
They do, they really do, they love all the
All right,
drama.
so yard sale,
Okay, so yard sale, so we're having a yard sale weekend, and that's gonna be on the 25th and the 26th of September from 9 to 2.
Does that conflict with something else that?
No, no.
No, it doesn't any longer.
The library.
Yeah, it doesn't any longer.
We'll bring that
Well,
up.
Craig's not here, but Craig had a story.
I'll report it.
Yes.
The 25th,
Saturday,
26th.
Sunday, the 25th and the 26th. There's no registration, so please don't call or write and say, where do I register? Because there's no registration, there's no fee.
I've been telling about the call.
Huh? Yeah. You can call me, you better not call me, you're my committee. Yes, so no registration, no fee, bring your stuff out, enjoy yourself, but I am going to ask you to please, Saturday in the afternoon, when you're done, bring your stuff back in your garage, cover it up, don't leave it out. Don't leave it out, or I'm sending our chief here to up and down the streets.
So in other words, they have to put it
Put
away.
it away and bring it back out on Sunday. You do it anyway, so that's why I made it a weekend, because you do it anyway. So, and enjoy yourself and have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Patty,
Yes.
why don't you take it back in if you're gonna have it 2 days?
You don't want to leave it outside for somebody to take it.
Yes, you don't want to leave it out. Why would you want to leave it out?
If it's out there,
It's like anything else,
If this thing's out,
It's like anything else,
you know what I mean?
What's that?
Oh,
Take away.
You and George can watch each other's stuff, you know, and stay outside all the time. So, yeah, we don't want you to leave it out. We don't want to hear reports that somebody stole something, or, you know, the police are too busy for that.
Okay, so
So that, and, of course, whoever's going to do National Night Out, don't forget it's August the 3rd, Tuesday, 6:30. And also, our next council meeting will be on the 4th, so it'll be Wednesday. We won't be here on a Tuesday. And with that, I am saying, move on.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to report with that is the library was having a small grand opening. They were going to have a big grand opening, but now they're going to have a small one on the 14th. And she wanted us to, just us, because it's not going to be public, just us go over to tour the building and see it.
all the changes.
Just mayor, it's been mayor and council
So-
and Harry.
She did write me back.
What time?
Do you remember the time?
It was in the evening. I've responded, you
Any
responded.
hors d'oeuvres or anything?
They are.
Oh, good.
We're going to meet with the library board and
Nice.
And this is on the 14th.
you respond, and then CCS.
Mayor, this is on the 14th at what
In
time?
the evening, I believe. It's in the evening.
Okay.
They had their normal library board meeting, and we'll be there the
Oh,
week
yes.
before their library board meeting.
I'll respond to her. She did send me an email telling me. I don't remember the time, so.
So the 14th, it'd be
I will
6
let you
p.m.
know.
Put on there, 6 p.m. with question. But I think Patty will verify that.
I will.
And if all of us can go, or most of us go, we go look at the building.
Okay.
So,
So, but you don't have the speechify or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, you want to keep going, Mr. Gary?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Good evening, everybody. In finance, our annual audit is underway, and we are asking for all of our departments to be patient. Takes a little bit of work to, a little additional time with our staff to get through the audit sometimes, especially with the pandemic atmosphere. Also, we're making progress closing out all of our prior grants from last year, and we're now processing and applying for new grants that we are fortunate enough to be receiving. There are a few of them. We just got a grant for a Green and Sustainable Program from PSE&G. It's a $2,000 grant, and it's to improve the communication from the green team to the volunteers in town and show them what we're doing. We're going to have a website put together, and we got a $2,000 grant to help us get that together. We could also use that towards any other IT work and things along that nature. We went that route pretty much to be in line with the PI program, the Public Information Engagement Program, which hasn't ended. We have a lot of work to do. And matter of fact, I got an email I sent to the mayor. Did you see that, Mayor? From Alex.
Something with the pie, I didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw the title.
He's circling back, he wants us to talk to the 4 other towns that went through the same program and just compare notes to see how we're all doing. So that's something to be excited about as we move forward. Better communication between the town and the residents and the town, and more public engagement. We're looking for that. Well, now that the county has certified our tax levy, the tax bill should be going out this week. And as Patty already said, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody Tuesday at 6 o'clock, right, Joyce? 6 o'clock?
No,
That's-
6:30.
National Night Out?
6:30.
6 o'clock setup, 6:30 kickoff.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Be sure to stop by the green team and check out what we're doing. We're going to be talking about recycling, composting. We're going to have an electric vehicle there. I believe we're going to have Ford bring a couple of cars as well. Winter Ford's going to bring some vehicles
Well, you
down.
advertised that, so I hope they do come.
Yeah, me too. I'll be calling you, Mayor. Thank you.
You know, I just want to say something about the National Night Out. And we say it every year, you know, John, you and I had this great idea about the dunking.
We should do that.
And we forgot again this year.
You get the mayor
But,
in?
wait, but
No,
the
he would do
chief
it,
has
too.
put it on his.
Oh, it's on there.
It's on the list for
It'll be
next
there.
year.
First in line.
We are putting the
Chief,
mayor, the mayor
haven't you
is
make
going
the
to go
with
with
the
the
engagement
dunking.
with all the...
Me and Daly?
Same as usual? Any new ones? Is there a lot of people coming? Great. Are we supplying the labels?
I'll talk.
Joyce comes up with
Okay. All right.
Chief, unless you could see if we can still get one.
Yeah, I don't know how much that entails. I'll speak to
Well, I
Sergeant.
might be able to have it.
I don't know, we could probably Google it Tuesday, the weather. I'm hoping that we have good weather. That's going to have a lot to do with the tournament.
Oh,
right?
Patty always has good weather.
You know what?
You don't have to
It
worry.
doesn't matter, we go inside, like
Okay,
Paul always
we'll
said.
figure it
something
out.
happens,
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Wow.
We'll be fine.
That's why.
It is an outdoor event, so Mansfield are probably not necessary.
Red
so-
Cross wanted to do it.
Ken Durham, if you
Yes,
want.
they did.
Blood drive, we did them last one, yeah.
I've got one more thing I want to talk about.
I'm sorry, John,
That's okay, don't be sorry.
I interrupted you.
That's fine. It's caucus, is what we do, we talk.
Yes, right.
The Green Team is looking to have projects where we're looking to get volunteers and get people engaged. A lot of people that want to have something to do, especially in their hometown. And we're always looking for projects. We can't ask for volunteers and then have nothing for them to do. Just come and chit chat all day, it gets old after a while. So we've discussed it, the Green Team, Patty, myself, Eleanor, and the rest of the Green Team. And we don't think that we have enough volunteers to sustain a community garden on any kind of large scale. So the mayor and I have been talking, Patty and Eleanor, and we're considering putting some fruit trees in. And it may be a more manageable project. So probably in the next 4 weeks, next caucus, I'll have some more information. I'd like possibly to start a small pilot program to get a couple of trees planted, if I could present it and it makes sense, and we do it the right way, and we do our research. Are we all open to that?
Yes, I'm all open to it, John, because you know how I am, I have reservations on everything.
Yeah.
But as long as you do your research, I've
Well,
grown fruit trees.
I'd
along
like
with-
more than just me
I've
doing
grown
the
fruit
research.
trees, and they're a mess, and. they
I'd like
do-
everybody to educate
they-
themselves, not just
yes,
me.
educate, and it does take 2 to 6 years to produce fruit.
Well,
And you
I'm
need-
finding that out. I'm
and
also
you
finding
need
the first part of this,
You need like a
you
male and
should pull the
female.
fruit, you should just pull the fruit.
You need male and female.
Yeah, I
you
understand.
know.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
do it.
it's a lot of work, like where's it going to go?
Let me discuss where it's gonna be.
Yeah, so. you
We're
know,
talking
I mean, we'll have
about
animals.
behind CVS, at that park, supposed park,
Yeah.
when you get a chance, come up
You
and
just see
talk.
the deer running across on the hair.
But I don't want to put it where it doesn't make sense. I do believe that, if we don't have projects for the community to do, there will be no community.
And
That's all.
I think if you want to plant a tree, I think planting a tree
Well,
in
you know,
memorial,
John,
somebody wants to,
We're always looking for
Well,
maybe a
people.
John Ranieri
I'm
tree.
buying a couple of apple trees, don't forget the green fair, so you can check them out there. All right, the rest is progress
All
now.
right, thank you. Ms. Kelly?
Okay, thank you.
Whatever, Willie.
Okay, Charlie, would you give us a update on the evacuation of the apartments over there on Black Horse Pike?
We
I
have to-
have your report, but I would like to hear from you personally.
Keep it brief, Charlie. Need the mic.
Oh, here we go.
Keep it brief.
Wait, what did he just say, keep it brief?
We had
Oh.
a little incident yesterday. Code enforcer Keith Pike declared Regency Apartments, Black Horse Pike and Fifth Avenue unsafe. So
The construction official, as the construction official.
This is the rear building. So we had to evacuate 4 apartments. Of course, it wasn't a fire emergency, so the Red Cross did not provide shelter. So Mr. Knight had a conversation with the mayor, and the 4 residents was put up at Comfort Inn, Ninth Avenue, and there will be a lien put against the property. Because the owner of the apartments was unwilling to cooperate with us with finding shelter for each residence. So it was 4 residents. I was up there for 5 hours, made notifications to the county, County Human Services, and County Board of Health. Their duty officer, they assisted us. They really didn't do anything. It took them 5 hours almost to get back to us. And that meantime, we made arrangements with Comfort Inn. Police department assisted us in transporting 4 residents up to the Comfort Inn.
So what's going to happen, Charlie? I mean, are they going to live there forever?
to live there until the building's repaired, and Keith gives them the okay to move back in.
So here's another example of us putting a lien on it. We need to get reimbursed for these costs that we're incurring for this. Now, I'm under the impression that the contractor was already out there today. Did you see a contractor there?
I spoke to Keith this afternoon. Contractor is out there. Supposedly it's supposed to be repaired tomorrow.
Oh,
But
okay.
from what I know about construction, it's going to be a while because we have to remove all that stucco off the beams and all. It's no kind of structural damage is done.
Oh,
The stairs is all falling down and all. So
oh my God.
they just think they're going to go in there with a couple 2x4s or something to repair. He said, no permits are going to be issued until he receives a plan.
Now, these people are living in the Days Inn or Comfort Inn,
Right.
and they're gonna be there until all the structural
Right.
problems are completed.
Right.
It could be weeks.
Well, the last time this happened, it was one of the apartments next to across from the gas station,
Yeah.
and that was fixed within a couple of days.
Yeah.
Because the way we're doing it, by the police department showing up, it really puts a lot of pressure on the
Is it
landlord to
being
fix it. Well, it puts a tremendous amount of pressure because he knows we're gonna put this lien on his property, and if he doesn't, he's not gonna collect rent, and he's gonna have to count it on him, and all this stuff. So, in this case, the other one was the wooden stairs. In this case, it is a concrete structure.
Yeah.
So the concrete structure is a little more work. I do know that the owner of the property, I believe, is an engineer.
Yes, it is.
So hopefully, he's gonna do his due diligence and get a drawing in as quickly as possible.
The construction official says he's a licensed engineer, and once he signs off with his stamp of approval on the plans, if anything happens, it comes under him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
So,
Yeah.
It's only about 6,000 a month, right?
What's that?
To house the families.
I don't know. All I can say is that if I'm that landlord, I'm working as quickly as possible to get
6,000.
my permits in and get it expedited and get it in part book.
So that's why you're not in this situation as a landlord, right?
Well, I can only say that the other landlord, who I didn't have a lot of confidence in, got it fixed very quickly.
Good. Can I read this real quick?
Yeah.
4 o'clock, I got an email. Good afternoon, Mr. Knight. The email is to inform me that the structural stabilization in the subject staircase has been completed at the time of writing this email. Furthermore, this is to inform you that I am a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey, and sealed drawings will be dropped off at the subcode office tomorrow at 9 a.m. and an expedited approval is anticipated.
That's great.
I got that at 3:54.
It's a one way to get people to,
This is from the owner?
You don't want to,
Chief.
Marua Dev.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
it's good.
And he's the owner?
I'm
Not
not
gonna pay
100%
$6,000.
Well, I think they have to.
But
Yeah, the building owner.
KDC Associates.
The building owner is Maura Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
KDC Associates out of Marlin.
It's good news. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Charlie.
And you don't want another Surfside here in town, that's for sure. That's how we had, that's how we had. Did you ever go see what that would look like?
what's that?
It was all crumbling.
Charlie's not done.
Under the dedication plan, our annex approval letter has been submitted to the county. The next step will be, once they receive all the letters from the communities in the county, next section will be a public viewing or hearing for the whole county. And then we'll go into the final stage after that. We'll have to pass our ordinance for that.
Okay.
The implementation.
Let us know.
Yeah, keep us posted, Charlie.
As far as the fruit trees, I don't really think it's a good idea. It does take 6-7 years for the fruit. I have a neighbor who's got 2 peach trees and 2 apple trees, and every week I'm picking up 2 trash cans full of small fruit.
Nice.
And years ago, I had apple and pear trees on my property, and I got rid of them. It's a lot of work. Plus, they don't control bees, they call them hornets. You have to be careful with the children getting stung.
So what you're saying, Julie, you'll be on the committee, is what you're saying?
I think that was
Sounds like you got some experience, thank you. What do you think?
I'm all for community garden. I mean, you see some of these other communities, some of the gardens they have, you know? But I don't see anybody with fruit trees. It's
Not
mostly
cherry
all
blossom trees, I
vegetables.
Yeah, but that would be very.
Well, I got something I'll bring up on that, so, do you have anything else? Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Wait a minute, let me think.
No fruit for
Citizens
you.
Bank.
Yes.
Report on Citizens Bank.
The subject was arrested. I got a phone call from Captain Murray, who got a phone call from
Right.
former officer of Runnemede Police, Thomas Reinhold, who's a captain in Evesham, said supposedly something's going on in Medford, and they tracked him down in Evesham. I called the prosecutor's office and said, we have something going on up there. He called his detective working on our case, went up, and he confessed to all of them, so. Like I said, we typed up the
Good
warrant
work.
and sent our stuff up there, so.
Good work.
Yeah,
Good
the
work.
prosecutor's office came out and did a fantastic job. Consistent.
Did we retrieve any of the funds?
I don't know, it's up, what's with them.
Well, you know about the dog bite.
Yeah,
Okay, that's it.
okay. I do want to add something. I did meet with the firemen today. They will be moving into the firehouse next week. So the fire marshal and the captain, whose offices are here, they are moving next week.
Next week.
So next week, they will be out of those
Roger
offices.
that.
They'll be moving into the current bunk room. So you might be the first to hear this, Charlie, but they're supposed to be sending an email out. It's gonna happen, and they're gonna move in, and
I'm on vacation.
we're not going to, we're gonna wait for the fire company to continue their renovations. But at this point, our operations will be going on at that department.
Can I ask our solicitor, has the agreement that we signed 2 months ago been presented to the bank yet
There wouldn't be anything,
for financing?
I don't know.
that would be nothing we would have to do.
Yeah.
That would be the fire company.
Remember, the whole point of the agreement was to use us as leverage essentially, and it was a guarantor or a co-signer.
But you don't know if
I
that,
haven't heard anything since we signed it, until I signed it.
so for as much as you were saying, they would be, that agreement is still at the firehouse somewhere, right?
I think that's an unfair question to ask, just because I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I haven't heard, you know as much as I do.
Well, I'll find out.
All right.
Okay. And then I do want to do one thing before we get on to Bob. Do you guys remember that Runnemede was eligible for the neighborhood preservation program?
Yes, you sent us all that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the application is due August 18th. It's $125,000 with Dutch matching, $25,000. So just let you know some of the things that can be done with the money. They just sent me a map, and I'll send it to everybody. It's basically the Black Horse Pike and the east side of town is the area that we can spend the money. Some of the suggestions are, so an example, if you remember, we talked a little bit about that little piece of land on Washington. We could do that. They have beautification projects, trees, beautification. We could do facade improvements, not just to businesses, but also to homes. So any of the homes in that neighborhood who may need windows, or
Why just the east side?
it's because of a census tract.
Yeah.
It has to do with the census.
Okay.
It's, whatever it is, I know that side's potatoes. And, so, Park Avenue, Washington, beautification, facade, homes, businesses, Black Horse Pike, both sides, and all of East Side. The Harry Williams, though, is part of that.
Yes.
So Harry Williams, we could do something there that would maybe improve that area, this 125 with the 25 match. So, I have the contact person, we're being more aggressive to do the first stage.
You want to do things that were Harry Williams?
We're looking for a creative space for
Like what?
green team rematch, Runnemede, all of those things, right? Creative space.
That's too big, that's hundreds of thousands.
Well,
This
we
is,
talked Herman.
she's talking, she said, didn't we want to do some bathrooms over there? That would be a much larger project.
Creative space.
That kind of stuff would be more into this stuff. She sent me an email, and I'll send it to everyone.
When do we get the money?
I don't know, we'll have to read it.
Show me the money.
Hurry up, go with
The only reason I took the phone call is they were trying to get a hold of Joyce, and I took the phone call from Joyce because she was on the other line. Okay, Bob, you want to do your part?
Yeah, I need a few things to announce, we've announced it before, CD, BG, and JDOT road program. Design is complete, and bids are opening scheduled for Thursday, July the 29th at 10 p.m.
So this-
10
And
a.m.
that's gonna be for what roads?
Highland,
North Highland, South
Oakland.
Highland, and
It's in here.
Second Avenue, right?
I'll look
Second
at it.
Avenue.
Yep.
From Cummings Bridge to Union.
Oh, here, it's right here. I see it, North and South Island, Second Avenue.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
It came to my attention, because I'm part of Reimagine Runnemede, that the grates on the bridge at Clemens Bridge Road, now this is state road, so it doesn't come under our jurisdiction.
They're always clogged.
And that trash is washing down from the grates to our beautiful little lake. So I contacted Bill Moan, and I have his office looking at the DEP for some direction on how they can change those grates to prevent that trash washing down to our lake. So that's where I'm at. Bill Moan's office is looking into it.
I don't think that there's they're like little squares now instead of the long.
is that what they
Yeah,
are?
that's what I'm upgraded.
Remember, Harry, when you reported
Yes.
them for what they were doing?
Instead of those long
They were
ones, they got
cleaning
they're
out.
little squares now, so that you can't.
So why, and we can't do that because it's a state highway, right?
Yeah, they replace them when they do construction to upgrade it. So you got the whole state, there's a lot of them out there.
Well,
So it's when they-
I have Bill Moan on their back, so maybe we could do something. I'll keep up with that, because it's a shame to have that trash all being washed down to the lake. And then every month, we go down to the lake and pick up all that trash and bring it.
Gives you something to do.
Yeah, but,
Every day off.
yeah. So, anyhow, that's the story with Runnemede Lake.
Well, the only thing I'll say is, we've taken a little more initiative, correct, Harry, cleaning the streets, even the ones that are county or state highways. And I think that's a positive, because you're right, it is going into our stormwater. So it does benefit us to have our street sweeper and our crews sometimes clean. I know Harry sends a truck out before storms to make sure the inlets are clean. So if we keep an eye on that one there, because the water rushes down there, that's a tremendous amount of
That's the
water.
big problem there, all that stuff washes down.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a state crime.
Nick, before I forget, just to do with the park, the Lake Park, the bridge funding, did we talk about that? I forget, is that something that's on the table? On the
Bridge funding, it's funny, I got a call for that too, not from Reimagine Runnemede. We put the application in, we have to wait for the county.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, does anybody, do you know the time frame on recreation? They have no time frame. So it's not like they have a deadline. They'll let us know when they, you know,
Good ready.
they come and they bring us the
Good
check. Remember, they give us the big check? And,
Okay.
so, the only thing I can say is recreation, is that something that we can fund and then reimburse ourselves, or it doesn't work that way? You know, some ones you can get reimbursed.
It depends on the terms of the grant, if that's what.
I don't remember how recreation works. So we put the money up, knowing we're gonna get reimbursed, but if you do it, then they say, well, you have the money, so we're not giving you the money. Correct? They do that sometimes.
Yep.
Many of them only give you very specific start and end dates.
And also, yeah. I think we just have to wait for the recreation money to come in. That application was done a while ago.
It was done in April, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
correct?
Oh, yeah, there's no way that we bring it in until July.
It was done in April.
Okay, are you done?
No, NG, New Jersey DOT, the 2022 municipal aid application has been submitted in Forest and Mammoth and Bowers, so we're waiting on that.
Nice.
Sewer extension, I don't know if Mark wanted to have anything to talk about that. And I talked to Chief and Sergeant Burns yesterday about these bus stops and closures. He suggested a couple of places, and I've been talking to this Donald Pickford from New Jersey Transit, and
They'll build them for us?
yeah, they'll build them any spec, they'll retrofit them in, so in front of St. Teresa's would be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Another one Bill suggested was down by the tanning salon, and the Acme. He said, just go with these three and see how they work. We can always add more, you know, to see how they do, so
Yeah.
I think they were, you know, You have anything to say on that, Bill?
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's,
sorry, Chief.
I called Bob, because I spoke to Mr. Wozonk, and he said it would be good for our input, so I called Bob, with Sergeant Burns, who's the road sergeant, he's out and about, lives in town, and we talked about it, came up with some good ideas where we thought the best place for it to start would be. So, as Mr. Farrell said, we could always add on, but we want to make sure that we're keeping everything on the up and up with these things.
Yeah. Well, they can become a problem, right? So we gotta be.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Do you know, is it this program, can we do a few this year, a few next year?
They can do as many as you want.
But can we go back into the well?
Yes, yeah,
Funds?
no problem. They pour the pad, they do everything, it's scot-free. Once it's done, it's ours.
We have to
We have to
maintain.
maintain.
But what John's saying though is we could do 3 this year, and a couple
Yes.
years later do 3 more.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I asked them that question.
Because
Do
that's
we
good.
get credit for that on Green Team?
Oh, I'm not sure, but we'll look into it.
Yeah.
That might give us credit.
It's gonna, listen, it's gonna help with everything.
Yeah.
We're trying to give the town a new face, and it's definitely better than some of the things we have now for us.
Should I make it
Yeah,
public
that's
for
true.
facelift?
I
So
support
with
whatever
your, with your mask.
I'm trying to add
whatever
something.
decision you make, Patty, I support it.
This is what I really look like.
One last thing, neighbors in my Sharrington area asked me to bring up no local traffic only on Sharrington.
People cut through Sherry.
Oh, my
I love going
Me
through
too.
Sherrington.
God. I talked to Sergeant, he said the same thing. Even if they cut it 10%, it would be, it's,
You find
what do you
that
mean
people
local
read
traffic?
signs?
well, in Barrington, they do.
Charge a toll.
That street in Barrington, nobody goes hardly down that street.
You're talking about they make the right to stop going through the speed bumps?
That's what happens with speed bumps.
They're good at that.
They go to the next street.
I don't know. Maybe you could ask the police department to look at it.
I just mentioned.
The only thing I'll say is that I hear it and I think it's funny. Every street has a problem.
Yes.
Everybody complains, you know who they are? They're our own neighbors, they're our own people,
No, I
I
understand.
mean, you said we put an officer out there and we had 15 tickets. 15 on Davis.
it was it was the day when I was in Florida on my vacation for spring break, when I got on the Zoom with our resident. I put Officer Thomas down there, was out of Triton for the week. I said, okay, your assignment's down here for the first half of the day. He was doing his thing out there.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is, as soon as the officer's not there anymore,
Yeah.
it goes back to, and then we got the residents complaining.
The problem of it is, it's GPS. And if people are paying attention to the GPS and they're not reading signs. Shortest distance from.
Absolutely
between-
correct.
Or is that, you think, what they're doing is it's,
That's why we have problems
Or
with
they're
Smith
talking on the
Lane.
phone.
they're cutting through Smith Lane, and
Smith Lane, that's why we have it on Cindy Avenue.
So traffic backs up and it
Push
pushes
backs
them.
up, everybody's going down the side streets, because that's what the GPS is showing.
yeah.
Well,
That's something to think about.
I brought it up.
Okay.
I want to rest properly.
Okay. Rich?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back.
Well, tell us at least basketball's up,
What the
right?
hell, Rich? What'd you do on vacation?
Baseball was a success. I think Carlos ran by that last meeting, right?
Yes, he did. He got a very good report.
Good job. All right. Basketball's up for a couple weeks at the Harry Williams, Monday through Friday. The kids, it's going good so far. Everybody's being civil, which is a shot for basketball.
It's a shot.
Fall ball's about to start for registration for baseball in about a couple weeks. I don't know about softball yet. They haven't had a meeting in a little bit, and that's about it. The rest is probably-
What about pickleball?
Pickleball,
I got an email.
the tournament was canceled from July. It
Oh,
was canceled because not enough interest.
oh.
But the guy found out who was running the tournament that during July and August, it seems like there's a bunch of pickleball tournaments around the state. So, up in North Jersey, everywhere, so. Everybody was traveling, so he must have had one in October. and-
Okay, so I got an email
Right
saying,
about the-
Runnemede Fall Pickleball Tournament. So this could be sponsored by the borough. And here's what she writes: hope this message finds you doing well. I want to
What's the
circle
date?
back This is July 15th. from
No,
Nancy.
October.
Okay, I'll read the email. Potential pickleball tournament. Leslie and I received information that Marvin Hill has now rescheduled his pickleball tournament for October 2021. Is that
So
accurate?
he's thinking about it, yes, he hasn't picked the date
I
yet.
want to make sure you're aware of this, and we will be partnering with Marvin for your town event. So
Great.
I would love to make it an official Runnemede.
All right, now you have to have, on October the 16th is the fall festival for the heights, for the fire department, right? On the 9th is the flea market, indoor outdoor flea market. And so those 2 dates are kind of like busy for our town.
So how about the 23rd?
The 23rd looks good.
So why don't
What
we,
about the 23rd for the pickleball tournament? Can you suggest that, Tom?
I'll suggest,
anything.
I got the
email right here. Yeah.
I'll respond to this email, and I'll say October 23rd, but I think it becomes a Runnemede sponsored event.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
It's us.
We pay for the trophies.
We get the trophies, it's a public, I hate to say it, it's a combination public event, combination Parks and Rec. We do something, and we promote it a little bit. What do you guys think about that?
I like
You
that.
gotta fix
No, we don't have to do anything, we can let them do it on the road.
No,
That's working pretty good.
But we could
Well, we
sanction
have-
it, and it would be our tournament.
Why do we want to do it?
PR, positive.
We have to fix the courts.
I called Steve Nicholas again, he's supposed to be here, he blew us off.
I know.
You know, it's crazy, the world's crazy, we just pick one.
No, I get it, and it's a pop.
I gotta go out there with a Caucus, I go out there with a
But
Caucus.
I tell
You don't need
you,
to-
we made the phone call, we can't do anything
Organization
until he
from
comes.
What's the problem?
We get cracked because ground
He
keeps
cracks,
set.
but because he did it and he maintains it, at least once.
We just gotta try to get it in early, he's gotta show up.
We don't want to,
March,
we
right?
don't want to fix it without him.
I get it until after freeze time.
Right, and one crack.
But wouldn't it be you know, we talk about things that bring people to the community. You know, one of the things like neighborhood preservation, the PI program, these things are always about bringing people into your neighborhood, making people happy. So this would be one of the things, no different than our 4th of July parade, no different than our, you know, yard sales, flea markets, all these things that happen in town. I agree. It's nice that there was something going on every weekend. It makes it look like the town is
It's
active.
lively.
So you want to ban
Some of the
it?
residents weren't real happy about it though.
What's that?
Parking was horrible.
Parking was terrible.
Pickleball and soccer, it happens, you know, I mean, but.
Well, we are expanding the parking.
You know, it's nice
We're
that-
gonna always have that problem, but that's okay.
Harry's gonna report that in his thing.
Oh, about the parking
But here's the
lot?
beauty thing. It's nice that the place is busy.
Right.
I remember when people say we wouldn't even use those fields for soccer. Do you remember those days? They said, oh, it'll never happen. You'll never get a bathroom. You'll never get soccer down here. You'll
You
never
got
get
that
this."
bathroom, didn't we?
We did. It took a long time.
That made a
7
big
years.
difference. That
7
made a big
years.
difference, Patty.
You know,
It just, but it trickles down, because baseball is not beat up the fields, it's a lot easier.
That made that big
It
difference.
looks good. I mean, we had the all-star tournament with the boys senior fields, and other teams were like, field looked great.
Because they weren't beat up by
They weren't
soccer.
beat up and they weren't maintained, but they looked great.
Yeah.
You know? And so they were happy about it. The only thing with us is that we don't have lights, so we only can do a couple rounds and that's about it.
We'll start getting a little jar. Start putting a little jar.
But, yeah, that's all.
You start with the pickleball tournament and all the other ones, you start charging a little bit for.
Well, there's something to be said. I mean, if the borough can make $1,000 in profit, there goes the maintenance every year. It helps offset that maintenance.
Because you also got with that, every time you do the events also, it's still trash afterwards, cleaning up and so forth like that. That's an increase. Who's paying for that part?
Well, that's why we have to have,
You gotta make sure
so if we
that
let them
they
do
pay
it,
for
we don't make any money and it costs us money. If we have a fee, it offsets our cost and we can put it
I
back.
totally agree.
So if it becomes a borough event, then there'll be a fee that they
Oh,
have.
definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I know we always give away everything.
Yeah, but we're gonna be doing
Things are changing.
trophies.
Well, that was a long time ago. We
Yeah,
got
we're gonna
in,
be
nobody
doing
knows. It was
trophies.
terrible.
It's gonna be a nice event.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice. Now, I do have to tell you that New Beginnings is having a softball tournament on the 21st of August.
Okay.
Billy,
Howard, did I give you that?
Chief, the 21st of August, did you hear about that?
They came and met with me in my office recently, and I told them, talked to Joyce, and Joyce told me what they need, and I told them, so.
I didn't get any, insurance yet.
They've done it
You will, they're not
They've done it
stepping
before.
There's two of them, right? in all
They
this?
didn't have it last year.
That's the one with
But
the
they've had
police is,
Right, and the-
Beginnings.
on the
then there was that
fundraiser ones-
Ryan or Kyle,
Ryan.
or there's a-
Oh,
Oh,
there's another
Boyle.
tournament.
Frank Coyle.
I don't know if he sent me the bracket, I don't know if I seen the Runnemede field goal.
When he asked for it, we told him he can have it from,
Oh, you
I
did?
forget the
yeah,
date.
he said, I think it's this year, from 7 to 2.
Yeah, okay.
From 7 to 2, because we have somebody on the
Something
fourth
else
floor.
must be great.
He
Remember
said,
the date?
yeah, I want to say the
That'd be
14th.
fine.
Yeah, he only uses it for a
Whatever
couple
we get.
games in the morning, and he scoops everything over to the.
Oh, I thought I forwarded it all to Harry, the two games.
What?
One is that memorial tournament that they have.
Right.
Belmar is the one
Belmar
that
uses
sets
our
it
field
up.
for,
Yeah,
In
for like
August.
3 games.
Send them all,
and then
Rich, I think I was
I'm in
copied.
charge of the
He gets them.
All
umpires.
right, and then the other was the game with the police, with New Beginnings,
Well, that would-
okay.
or tournament, whatever it
Yes,
is.
Was there anything else, did you, or was that you, or?
No, I don't think so.
No, that was me because of the softball tournament for New Beginners.
How about we run around, Harry? What do you want to tell us about our parking lot?
It's the 14th.
What's nice is, since we talked previously prior to the meeting about our capital funding with equipment and so forth, we're demoing skid steers, track skid steers, and I have Gloucester Township coming over with a piece of apparatus to help assist with the parking lot with removing the stumps.
Oh.
So they're gonna come over and demo their unit, and we're gonna demo it at the parking lot so we can start moving that process ahead.
Well, that sounds encouraging.
Let's see what else we got.
And you remove all the dirt down there and start leveling it?
Yeah. The camera project, we're in the midst of purchasing the cameras, and then we'll get that set up between, resetting up the Harry Williams building, the field house, the RY across the street, down at Green Acres. With that, I know I've worked with the police department with it, and I.
So police will have access to all those
They're
cameras?
gonna have
and
access,
cameras will
we're
have access?
actually met with the police because we're actually installing on the billboard sign out front of Harry Williams. We're actually putting 2 cameras up on there, which will be wireless back to the building for the intersection at 9th and Constitution, and then down the pipe for
Really?
access for the police.
Yeah, when I met with Harry, he was good, he was great. All this
This is stuff that we're having with problems with accidents and so forth like that. Since we were having the device and we're already making a step, we're taking it to the next level, so they'll have recordings and everything else
Okay.
in these troublesome areas. So we met with him, going really good with that. So we're gonna be starting to see progress. It's gonna be probably an additional 3 weeks to get the products in, and then we'll start getting the cameras up and so forth.
Harry, we had that vandalism over at the Orchard Avenue pump.
Nothing's going into pump stations.
What fan is it?
Oh,
One of the trash cans was being spray painted.
with,
It's all
Great.
it's all
Oh,
business.
it's art, yeah, it's art.
That's what I was told it was art.
It was one of the younger kids.
Does it come off that PVC? It should come off.
All we could do is really distort it because it's actually, it has the forces to it and stuff. So besides bringing it back, we just, because they're gonna hit it again,
did
we
you
just
see, did you
distort it.
see?
Make it say book.
It was very.
Speaking of that real quick, one of the things, like I said, I had Sergeant Burns was working yesterday, he's our big lead guy. Me and him visited a few houses because we had a few issues, met with some parents and said, you know, we love our kids, but, you know, we need to behave ourselves and respect the town. So we went around to a few parents and said, we're gonna be on this.
Okay.
We love your kids, just make sure that we're behaving.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
It's
was,
ridiculous that it comes to that. I gotta be honest.
well,
I think it makes an impression, though.
Yeah, no, I'm glad
You
you're
guys
doing
stopping
it.
by, it makes a
Yeah,
huge impression.
I'm always gonna take the extra step.
Okay.
With that, just some building like issues, we have a unit, air conditioning unit down in the police department, the patrol room area. Working with the contractor now to try to get the unit, because we already have it scheduled for one of the courtroom units and the curb to be replaced with the crane and so forth. So we're trying to line it up and get the availability of the material. So as soon as I get that, I'll be working with it, but I'm trying to work with the chief to make sure they can stay chilled back there.
You got it repaired, right? It did get repaired?
No, it's down now.
Oh, it's down?
Yeah, it's down now. It went Sunday night.
Wow.
So,
So that repair didn't last?
not good.
so we got to definitely replace it.
Well, we have a PO, right? We, okay.
Yeah,
Hear about
all
the
this
Sally
stuff. It's
Port.
just getting the time.
You know what's wrong with it?
Sally.
With
The door.
It's just 24 years old, and
Yeah.
it It died.
You don't even look at it.
It died.
The other issue was, just so we had issue with the 36-inch storm drain at Central and 11th Avenue. Actually, it was a mystery line that actually runs around through back properties. It goes to 9th Avenue.
Was it on our maps?
It's, that side of the road hasn't been fully surveyed and so forth. We're working.
So we're gonna add that to the map?
We're working with it. We found a lot of new locations with it. We found the MUA, the CCMUA line. We found the Runnemede sewer lines that go back behind those places to the Days Inn. We found that we're gonna have issues because we need.
It was on no previous map?
Wow,
So we never went back there and cleaned the map?
wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
If they would been on the website, somebody would have told us there's a line there.
So we got the call with the heavy rains and so forth, and we got the debris was phenomenal though, that we pulled out. We pulled out 4x4s, 8 foot long.
Oh, my
We pulled out tree stumps, we pulled out tree pieces, we pulled out a tarp. We thought we were gonna have the police there for what was in the tarp.
Yep.
It's when the water moves a lot, and it dumps into, the 36 dumps into a 48-inch, which goes under the turnpike, and right through C Station, sewer station.
And who owns the one under the turnpike?
Goes back to back, and then it goes, that turns over to the turnpike.
Oh.
So it's all, okay, here's the line, this is now your territory, this is ours. So it's a domino effect. But we're gonna have an issue, that whole section is an issue with easements. Because we're gonna have to build roadways so we can get to the manholes and so forth. Then start servicing this, we gotta get to the front of the pipe so we can put some.
How close is it
breaks
to
in.
the turnpike?
It goes through the turnpike.
Nick, is that
So the
connected
turnpike
into
is,
construction?
they're widening the turnpike.
Yeah.
This might be an opportunity to fix all that.
It's not, it goes through there, but the section that we're having problems is all behind on Runnemede side.
How far away from the turnpike is it?
From 9th Avenue to Little Gully at the end of 9th.
Oh, yeah, I know where that
Behind
gully
Days
is.
Inn, 2 houses behind that.
Well, the new owner of the Runnemede Industrial Park may be putting in some buildings there. There may be an opportunity for us to work with them too.
Does he own that property? Does Runnemede Industrial Park have?
That's what we're saying.
Residents.
These are
The
residents.
residents own that property.
It's backed up to the residents and Days Inn. So it has nothing to do with the industrial park.
Oh, it's not that far. You said 9th Avenue, so it's up further.
Yeah, I know where that
Starts at
little
9th
gully is.
Avenue and then goes back behind all the
Yeah,
houses. to the
I know
left.
where that little gully is.
So it was a mystery, it came up, we've been working on it. Today, we actually opened it all up. The only way we could get in it was with manpower. So we had to have a couple of tunnel racks. So
Wow.
we had to literally hand pull the stuff out there.
So you guys are really working today.
Was it disgusting or not so bad? There's a lot of stuff in there. But
Thank goodness I couldn't fit in through the gate. It does have its perks.
Mark, is this something that the engineering department should get involved in?
We're going to map it out in our as-bills.
But this is a normal public works maintenance thing that can work on.
Poor Hank.
Who he called out today? He was in it, he has been in it, and today Billy was actually, he decided to jump in it. So Billy, Tommy, and.
That's not sewage, it's storm.
Yeah, it's nasty.
They could have come up with.
It's still nasty.
Traveled out.
But the other issue, with Mr. Lovenstein not being here, was the labyrinth area. I got an email, they want to add more stuff and put more footings in and change this, benches, this stuff, that stuff.
Right.
It was supposed to be a simple thing, no maintenance for us. It's turned into a major issue and time consuming for us to maintain. So
And we should take away those 5 hours you're going over Magnolia.
that's fine with me, sir.
So,
But I think a committee needs to oversee what's happening.
Well, I know David Steinberg has a.
I don't disagree.
No. It's not his committee. We need to.
He's saying we should have some more input, because things are happening that we have to maintain. So, and I don't disagree. I sent them the map that they needed to know where the path was going. You've already opened it up for them to walk in. So the map, Mark sent it to me, I sent it to him. I don't disagree that we should have a plan so that the lawnmower can cut easily, things like that. But I think that there's a balance there. We can't just,
I'm not saying no.
You know,
We need to.
well, you're almost saying no. You're saying you know too much work.
Communication and a
Well,
I don't disagree, but remember, you never do anything, because everything's more work. That's the point, though, I would say. We would, if the lawyers were in charge, we wouldn't have anything, because they would say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, right?
fair.
Fair, that's a fair answer. So Public Works, he's right, it's more work. How do we handle it?
Let me interject. The green team is, that's our next step. is to find-
But are they gonna maintain, is what Harry said?
Well, yeah, we're looking for volunteers to help maintain some beautiful greenery.
But if they don't
garden
maintain it, it
scapes.
falls back to Public
It
Works.
would.
So they have to, they have to, with our
We have to
support,
work together until we could, release it and give it to the green team and the volunteers.
there
That's
should-
one of the things we're gonna be looking for, people that wanna get involved in horticulture and help maintain.
but if they don't, we have to be prepared to take it over.
Yeah.
There should be a plan that's
We should be
presented to
fail-safe,
us.
not the.
So to give you a quick one, the Rotary, if you remember, planted some little bushes down.
Yeah, where
at the
are
park.
they now?
They got run over by the lawnmower. So the point that I'm making is I agree, there needs to be some coordination, so,
They were dead before they ran over.
but my point though is that if they're gonna put a berm and some bushes, it's done in a way that there's no maintenance. Very little maintenance. Is that what you're basically
We
saying?
got a plan on the weekend.
So the lawnmower can cut
When
the
it
grass.
was first presented, it was gonna be low maintenance, now it's turning into what I'm getting, it's gonna be major maintenance.
I don't know, what is major maintenance? I don't understand. You still just got a lawn mower and weed whack. What else is there?
Exactly, right now, we can get in and get out.
You don't weed
But now, we're gonna have to send a guy down there and weed whack, and it's gonna
They
take
don't-
time, we can't
Around
know.
the wall with the name
All
on
of
it
a
and all
sudden,
that.
you're adding more and more when, I'm sorry, but we need to get a parking lot finished. We need to clean the storm drains. We need to do our other maintenance of the grass cutting and so forth. We're adding more to it to where we're still limited financially and employees. You're adding to it.
So
It's
is this
not-
group able to maintain it so he doesn't have to?
Well, there's no group yet, but we're working on it.
That's,
So-
I'm just
Well, then
saying.
maybe, I think the point then is, maybe this next phase doesn't happen until the maintenance is figured out. So there is
Gosh,
something.
he ordered the stone already for the benches.
And bushes too, I read. He got a grant for some bushes. David?
Yeah,
Okay, so a little bit of planning.
Yeah, but shouldn't it be where we want to plant it, not where he wants it planted?
Well, there is a drawing, I thought.
No, I think that Harry's right, it all comes down to routine maintenance. Who's gonna cover the labor hours for that? You can't just throw that in there and say, hey, now take care of this. So I think as any of our groups move forward, we have to, anything that requires maintenance, you either have to provide your own labor, or you have to talk to Harry and discuss it beforehand, because he may have an alternative plan and say, put some concrete down, we won't have to do anything here. So I don't know, that may come up, you know.
And I'm saying it's not for me to decide, I think it's, you're the elected officials, I think that the Public Works Committee should be the one approving or overseeing.
Who's that? Who's public? Oh, Craig.
It's Craig, he's not here, that's why I was just bringing it up, because
Craig,
he's not here.
and-
But I think the committee should sit by, they're elected officials, as you said, we work for you.
Well, the only thing I will say again, being supportive of these groups, but if they do something that doesn't work,
Well,
it's our
listen,
property.
I'm
Already talking
supportive of
about-
all the
We're
groups.
talking about a
Listen,
little wall that
I'm-
needs to be weed whacked.
I am supportive of all the groups. My beef is that we are council, okay? You need to come before council and show us what you want to do, tell us what you're going to do, what you would like to do, and tell us who's going to maintain it, and then we approve
But we
it.
do have two members of council that are representing us.
Well,
There's really no maintenance, we're not, the wall, the hedge, we put up tree lines and hedges, and then at that point, someone's gotta trim those trees, maintain all of that. But right now, the memorial wall, just all the people that put the money up and invested. in
The donor wall.
The donor
Yeah.
wall. It's gonna have the names of the, just like we had the
So
bricks.
can we get a drawing of all this? So that's why they were
I
Pat's saying.
think David gave that to us, didn't he? I mean, I thought he had
I
that.
remember seeing a
I
memorial.
personally didn't see anything that needed to be maintained yet, so moving forward with his whole ideas and all that.
I thought it was only bricks in the ground.
now he's talking about a wall.
I remember it was bricks.
Yes.
He's
Bricks
putting
aren't
ceramic,
going,
yes.
those bricks aren't going in the ground because of the.
Because of maintenance.
Because of the-
But that was originally what it was, that was bricks.
Yeah,
Now he's moving it.
So he's gotta get, he's gotta
Yes, he
see it.
didn't come in front of us to
You're right.
discuss that, so
Yeah.
that might not happen, right?
It's too
Well,
late,
it's
it's already
gonna
got the
happen.
wall. I think
He's-
the wall.
he's
The
a-
donor wall, yeah.
We'll be sure to discuss it at our next meeting, that we're not moving any projects forward to review. We have-
Well, I will say right now, the labyrinth still needs to be secured. It's only temporary.
No, it's not.
They did it
It's
from
all
steel.
done,
Steel.
yeah, it's great.
You have pictures?
No.
They put steel?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Came out nice.
So it's
Real
good.
side.
It's gonna, it's gonna, it's not gonna go anywhere.
No.
You saw?
Came out nice.
Eleanor
So they got rid of the wood?
Nick,
Put
once I
steel.
saw,
I
I wrote
dedicated
his
it.
final check.
Okay, you made sure it was done.
Eleanor,
what else we got?
climb to the top.
You threw us on a curveball with that.
I'm sorry.
We'll slow it down and we'll bring it up to council before we move forward with this project.
Just progress with everything, moving ahead with it. I do have, though, unfortunately, a letter of resignation from one of the summer employees. He got picked up with the county communication. So with that, I was hoping to talk to Director Lobside, but since he's absent, I do have 2 applications to look at, to where hopefully for Tuesday of next week, I can put forward that we do interviews for an appointment of that upon his leaving in 2 weeks, the other one would start.
Okay. You wanna talk about the starting salaries?
Yes, also, we're kind of under, all the salaries all over the place is, every time you look every other week, they're going up. While giving benefits, giving, bonuses to show up to work, everything else. So in a nutshell, want to try and keep it up with everything so we don't lose what we have, keep it enticing for people coming in. I questioned it to Beth and our CFO to see where we were with money-wise and so forth. I talked to Director Lobenstein, and I'd like to actually present to our starting salary now, which is $14.27 an hour for our part-time help, up to $15.75 to stay competitive with everything. And the money should be able to withstand within the year, until December 31st.
I think that's fair.
I think
These are
that's fair.
at-will employees,
Yeah.
part-time employees. You gotta keep them happy for as long as we can keep them. This would,
We need them.
So with that, unfortunately, I have to ask for that to be walked on by resolution because Beth can't make the raises.
so you give us a list of the employees and a resolution, and that goes to Beth. So just give us the names and rates, and nobody has any problems with the dollar.
No.
The $1.50 for guys who are working
No,
out
it's
the heat.
very,
And they're only allowed to work so many months out of the year.
Right. So we have him for 6 months. Jake, we have is a permanent part-time, so he's under 30 hours.
But you'll bump him up.
So he'll get bumped up. He's been doing a great job for us. So it just keeps them in the realm of what's going on.
Maybe you can find some guys who can handle little gardening areas, weed might be.
Yeah, once we get rid of the parking lot, signs, everywhere there's signs.
Make sure you pick up my trash. My weeds. I might have a lot of weeds.
Stop
for you.
signs, bike path, we're good. It's all part of it, and we're making progress with everything. We're handling it.
And you're
The
doing,
town-
and
the town
you are
looks-
doing a wonderful job.
The town looks
The
great.
town looks great, we're making
In
it
Spanish,
through it.
come see, come see.
Yeah.
And
The
it's,
town
Come
looks
see, come
great.
saw, come to my
Coast to
casa.
coast.
That
Come to
means
my
so-so.
casa. Come to my casa.
Coasty, coasty.
so progress with everything else, so.
Ciao, ciao, bambino.
All right, Shelley, did you want to add anything?
Just
Microphone?
briefly, yes, like John had mentioned, Councilman Runnemede had mentioned, we are in the middle of our audit, so things are a little bit hectic and busy right now for everybody. I would like to thank both Harry and Bill for a lot right now. We have a lot of projects going on, a lot of different things, and we've been working nonstop, trying to get things started, caught up, moving, and everybody has been really spectacular. Bill and I have been, I think, the
I'll
best
speak
term is
about that.
going crazy. Trying to get some grants taken care of, both past and present, and that is finally kind of working like clockwork now that we are both updated in everybody's systems, and it's our names and not people from a few years ago. So, thank you to everybody for being patient and also helping. Yes, it's been wonderful. So that's it. The rest is definite progress for us.
Okay, great. Mark, you want to go through your report?
Sure. I submitted my report in writing. Bob covered a few things. He did mention we're having a bid auction this Thursday, so hopefully next Wednesday we can have a resolution to award that. So we'd like to add that to the agenda.
You got that, Joyce?
So we'll be putting Shelley on the spot because the mayor had some extra sidewalk for the project, so hopefully it'll come under budget, under Shelley's budget, so. Beaver Branch Park, the lighting has been installed. There was a walkthrough to show Public Works how all the items work. We're just waiting on some closeout documents from the contractor, and then we'll be submitting a recommendation for a final payment on that.
Are they on? I might try down there.
They're on.
I have a question real quick, because the lights go so far down, and I know it's all about wire size and all that, but does it make it any easier for us to consider lighting up the soccer fields with actual hard wiring, or no?
Oh, you mean rather than
It'd
renting?
be a whole different animal.
We didn't
That's
do
what-
anything, we didn't run extra wire down there.
No, not for that.
Thank you.
This is only for people to get out of the park, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we need decorative lighting to help.
Understood, big difference.
Our wetland survey at Public Works is done. We're just finalizing the plan, and then we'll be submitting that to DEP for the letter of interpretation for the wetlands line.
Does that include the survey that has to go to CCNUA?
Well, it's an existing condition survey that would be sent to that, yes. And the Davis Road Sewer Extension, we completed the environmental planning document. I just need to get Joyce to submit that electronically on the iBank. So I'll coordinate with you on how we get that submitted.
I thought it was you, Shelley, it was Joyce.
Somebody has login information.
If I have it, I don't even know that I have it. It was probably done in between various CFOs.
Somebody will be able to, but we just have to download it to the system and get that. We're progressing with the design. And that is all I really have is.
Changes, you're talking about any, yeah, that's what
Unless
changes.
anybody has any questions on anything. Like Harry said, we're working on the as-built for the storm and sanitary. I think we found or didn't find, Public Works marked up some plans of things we might be missing or manholes that are still couldn't get open, so we're working on that for that. So hopefully in the near future we'll have.
And what's going on with the scout building? It's just like nothing is happening.
That's not the engineering, that's in-house Public Works.
Oh,
Getting quotes from contractors has been a little timing,
is it because of materials?
but materials and just making sure they're all quoting everything apples for apples. So I had to go step back because one was pricing for this way and another one was pricing this way. So I had to go back and make sure they're doing it all the same to meet all the proper steps.
Do we have a start date for the Harry Williams roof? Let's talk about that.
Materials.
Still
Yeah,
on.
materials. That's a big one.
Okay.
I have a question for Harry. Does anyone know if the light ever was put up by PSE&G on Evesham Road?
No, it's not.
It's still not.
No.
We
This has
requested
been-
that 2 years ago.
Yes.
I remember, 2 years ago.
And it was promised the week of the 28th, and it was promised again for,
By PSE&G.
by PSE&G.
So it's not us.
I'm talking about June, and it was promised again last week, and now it's still not up. And the excuse that I get are materials.
Yeah.
They can't get everything, so I will call them again. Okay, thank you. That's
Dan,
what-
anything?
I hate civil service.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
That's right. With my report, it's always the stuff that everybody
Yeah.
else kind of talks about, so, other than that, progress.
I got a few things.
Oh, geez.
I'll try to go through
Speed it
quick.
up.
Captain Murray and I tomorrow will be attending in our dress uniforms. Side is Class 1, SLEO 1 Academy graduation.
Oh, very
She
good.
finished, she did well, she was picked as a secretary. She followed my lead when I told her my stories about getting the academy 25 years ago, an hour early. So she would get there a half, 45 minutes early, waiting for all the young kids to run up. So we're gonna attend over her family tomorrow. National Night Out, Sergeant Burns did a fantastic job. We hit all the businesses, everybody was excited about it. The only change this year is there'll be no ponies. He went to visit the pony people and they retired. Yeah, so no ponies, but Bernie will be out there with his monster truck and the fire department doing their thing. Chief Taylor will be making an appearance at National Night Out. Not when I'm talking to employees, but he'll be there.
I think he's got a table. He's
Yeah, we're gonna have it's gonna be big. All our guys, we're all excited. We'll have a couple guys on bikes.
Costumes.
Bike guys.
And you got your lead table.
Yes, we're set. We're all ready. Sergeant Burns really puts a lot into that. Bike patrol's been out there. working fantastic. I jumped on the bike with Sergeant Burns for some old school, like we used to with Officer Arletta. We stopped and saw Patty, stopped and saw Mrs. Kelly.
I got pictures, I got pictures.
And then I actually used it, I went down Sheffield Court and saw a lawn that was too high, engaged with the neighbor, and 2 days later it was mowed.
You didn't measure it with a ruler?
It needed to be cut. Junior Police Academy's coming up, we're all set with that. We have, thank you, Patty.
Everything's set.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have the state police landing the helicopter one day. We got the computer safety for the prosecutor's office, the K-9 unit, the SWAT team, that we're going to see the battleship on Friday.
Oh,
Another thing
nice.
Sergeant Burns really digs in with. I hate civil service, just like Mr. Long said. He called me today. He was very excited. I was excited about it.
Sounds like a bumper sticker.
We were both on board with that. Shelley, I mean, she said what she said, but I can't take any credit for, she's awesome at what she does. We uncovered a lot of stuff, as you can see, from all CFOs, chiefs do things differently, but Shelley and I want to do things our way, and to me, Shelley's way is the right way, so I always follow her lead. She gets us compliant, she gets us what needs to be.
Thank you, Shelley.
What she did with the body cameras. Thank you, Shelley.
It's a lot, I work with her closely, it's a lot more than just that body cameras, trust me, which was awesome. We're moving forward on that, by the way. I'm looking at some stuff tomorrow with Shelley, and we're gonna move forward, send a PO, we're gonna get rolling on that.
Okay.
As the mayor said, Officer Alexander approached me, he was ready to go, crunched the numbers. I'll be sending you guys an email, as I will under anybody that retires under me. I'll have a luncheon for it. It'll be in here at 12 o'clock.
And the date?
August 6th, 12 o'clock. Here, Mrs. Kelly, so you gotta be ready with your words. We always look forward to that. I got a lot of projects coming up. As the mayor said, that the fire department's probably gonna be moved. They're moving next week.
They're moving next week.
I'm gonna be moving Charlie. It just coincides. We'll move Charlie and Buck into Captain Kearney's office. I'm gonna have Ryan in here. We're gonna move quickly. We're gonna move efficiently, and I'm gonna square that away. Charlie's gonna go through his stuff. As I already told Charlie, we're gonna make that office look very neat, the way I like it. Audio, video. I spoke
When
with...
you got those walls, you're gonna move the
Well,
walls?
yeah, I spoke to Harry, he gave me some good wisdom. I brought Mr. Knight into the police station today, and he likes everything we're doing. We talked over it, he's gonna be in 2 weeks material, so. We're moving everything up. We'll have our audio and video in place in about a month or so. And the prosecutor's office is coming down tomorrow. When I get back from Side State, they're gonna meet me. We're gonna do an audit in the evidence room. Now, Chief Daly's going to that, that's required. And everything else has been
And the
fantastic.
Sally Port.
Can you give me back my stuff that you collect? No, I'm just kidding.
And the Sally Port,
In which way, Mrs. Kelly?
well, you said you wanted to use the Clemens Bridge.
Oh, yeah, Charlie can speak on that right now. He's a pretty material.
That evidence audit is a standard
It is terrible.
procedure every time there's a chief change.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Every single time.
And I will say, Detective Amato, that always hasn't been Detective Amato, or he's Patrolman Amato now, has that, we're gonna play us with flying colors. He has that down to a side. It's just like, part of that stuff when you're getting, people are looking at your stuff, everybody's got a job to do. And everybody, like, we passed our cell block management from the state, everybody's dialed into the jobs that they're responsible for in the police department. And that's the way it's going to be going forward. I met with Harry Earl, retired chief. He gave me some stuff that I'm going to incorporate from the JIF into the police department that I really like. So, we got a lot going on in the next couple of months of all exciting things I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to get going. So, progress, everything else.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Great.
I did forget one thing, and I might have sent it out to everybody, or Joyce sent it out. The county was looking for the senior center for the early voting. You guys remember seeing that?
Yes,
So it's not been finalized, but 90%, Runnemede's going to be one of the towns where we'll have machines 10 days prior to the election. So the only thing we do need to do some work in that room. We will get compensated for some of this stuff. if anything, they've made it clear that they're gonna compensate us for utilizing our building. So one of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna put a few outlets on the wall that we never had outlets on the one
We only
side.
have an outlet on this side
Yeah.
and one outlet. That's it, 2 outlets.
But it's also an opportunity for us to fix a couple other things. So, Ms. Vicenda, when she did the library, the idea was that the library does utilize the senior center, and obviously the seniors use it, but it's an opportunity for us to replace the carpet, paint the walls, and fix the ceiling grid. So Kathy met with one of the ceiling companies. Were you there too?
Couldn't make it.
Okay, and so the idea is to take the entire ceiling out, put up a nice flat ceiling. Remember how it has those, it falls down all the time? So the idea would be to do that and upgrade the lights at the same time. We still have an
What's the time frame on that?
Well, the county would need the bill, well, they would want it 10 days prior to the November election. So that was sometime from the 25th to election day. But we also want to try to coincide with the seniors coming back. So for the seniors, we want to get the rugs done, the painting, the ceiling, the lights. And Mr. Wozunk is buying a TV for the seniors.
Oh, how nice.
You better.
Because Mr. Ranieri said we would get a TV, so we will get them a
Oh,
TV.
nice, that's fantastic.
So when I was down at the Public Works facility, the TVs that both,
They would rather have
the
a
police
bingo.
department,
They wanted a bingo machine.
well, the police department has, the screens that both of you have, in both of your department, I think that is phenomenal, they have for their TV, for their cameras. That would be a great one down there for them, for activities that they're having down there, things like that. What do you mean a bingo machine? What do they
Why
mean?
do they play bingo?
They get their own.
Oh, well, I'm going to, Rich, you're going to go down to the.
The only thing I have to do is make sure
You're going
this
to
is
come on a
with
Saturday
Lee,
and
where it
teach the
gets
seniors
installed.
how to use their remote.
Wherever Lee wants it installed,
Okay.
put it wherever she
All
wants it.
right? Yeah, did you hear that now? He's coming to the seniors on a Saturday to teach them how to use the TV.
Oops.
I'll send my 12-year-old.
Send your 12-year-old.
Yeah, my 5-year-old granddaughter can go.
So hopefully this will all be part of buildings and grounds projects, because, you know.
Connie,
make
when
sure
are the
those
seniors having
stretch
their
the money.
meeting?
It's the 3rd.
And that is when they're having the Memorial Park on the 18th of September?
You know what? I don't know when she's going to start. I gotta ask her.
She said September, but she might push it back,
Who said September?
late.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Harry's gonna touch base with her again.
Yeah, she can't have it on that day.
No, because we're gonna be,
And I'm sure those seniors are gonna want to do it.
And they'll push it back a week or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And other than that, that's all I had.
I'll reach out to her about that.
Okay, so was there anything else we missed? We did go over a lot tonight? Good? Harry, you got a lot of work to do. Make it fun. Good. Helped out with does everyone see that the point was cleaned up? It looks nice.
It looks very nice, very nice.
But I agree with you, that's where.
Did you do it?
No, they I will say, I understand your
It was
point that you
wrong.
might need to bring professionals in every once in a while to take some of the pressure off. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, trimming trees, trimming bushes, doing some landscaping that's above our normal.
And Nick talked to me about a couple of the tree location across and so forth like that, so.
So I did talk to, so everybody knows I have this peeve about these pieces of land that we have to get rid of. So across from the point, there's a piece of land that the borough has, it's been in foreclosure for, or municipal lien with us for 40 years.
Which one?
That piece of land on Clemens Bridge Road.
The skinny one?
Yes. The only problem I just found out is the guy who lived next door, I think he just passed away.
Oh.
wait,
So,
who was it?
the Italian guy, John, who was on that big house.
Pagliazzo?
I think
Is he the one that lives, it's all the way
It's
in?
a big house, right across from the trees.
It's all the way in?
No,
Center
it's right on the
Road?
front, with all the sidewalk. So, but both people would take it, we just have to vacate it again. We have to vacate it. But Nick has to take the one tree down. Take the tree down, clean it up, and then.
Yeah, there must be all Italians on that block.
I got another
Is it
question, so
Pagliazzo?
it's
Is it
fine.
hers?
It's
Not
a
yours.
different way.
It's,
We're having a conflict.
remember the two Trump flags in the next house? Remember that? That house was big lot.
I have the dates. for
Oh, the one on the
voting.
water?
Yes.
The one on the water? Okay.
You're too far down, where the point is. Right across the point.
Okay, the water. okay.
So he said he would take that down, you know, get the police to stop traffic, and drop the tree. Is that the plan?
Actually, it's bigger than what he thought it was.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's,
And you
yeah,
said
it's a nice
it's
cherry
pretty
tree.
nice.
It's 5 branches going back.
Isn't it
So
strange?
we went down and looked at it yesterday with all the vines and stuff like that, so.
The name
We
of
got
someone,
Okay.
but the problem is it's gonna have to be researched.
Like what?
It's in someone's name.
But
care
our
of-
address, Dan.
Care of the Runnemede Tax Office. It's been that way since I became tax collector. I have no idea what it means.
So we need to get title to this, so we can
Yeah,
get
we
rid of
have
it.
no idea whether, maybe we do, but no one ever told me, you know?
Maybe we do, and that's why it's on our address. Can we,
I have no
can we,
clue.
what do we have to do, a title search?
Yeah.
You want to send in the address, let's do a title search?
Yeah. But by the way, the early voting would be from October 22nd to October 31st, Monday to Saturday, 10 to 8 p.m., and on Sunday, 10 to 6 p.m.
Yeah, so they would basically rent the building from us. So I think with that money, like we talked about, it's money would come in every year, every election, and you can use that money to back in the buildings. Fix the roads. Yeah, roads. You need $500,000. I'm getting 2,000, I think we'll get $2,000, you know, for it. What'd they tell us, $100 a day?
I forget what you said, yeah, I don't.
Give us $100 a day, cover them to open the door.
Yeah.
Just open the door.
Would that be in addition to putting in the electrical outlets necessary?
Well, I think we can charge them for the electrical outlets. I don't know if we get the rugs, but it's COVID related. We wouldn't have, she says, it's COVID related. It's not early voting.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. Okay, we went a little long tonight, we did good. So,
Covered a lot of it.
yeah, so we'll have a quick meeting, the council meeting, because we're got a national night out, so our meeting's Wednesday night, which I had bowling, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to either pre-bowl or I'm gonna have
Or
to.
unbowl.
I'm gonna have to put my average in. Okay, at this time, if there's no other business, we have the public portion of the meeting now. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Say no one? No. Say no one? No. Say no one? Say no one? Say no one?
It might.
All right, Maria Pants are on. 171. It doesn't.
I know who you mean, a friend of mine used to own it, Greg Polito. I don't know if it's still in his name.
After the meeting. Okay. Is there no one else from the public? Would someone like to make a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public.
I'll second that
Motion by Ms.
motion.
Passio, second by Ms. Kelly, all in favor?
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to, I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Passio, all in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned at 7:58.